Welcome, guys. It's another episode of the Neutral Corner. It's Danny Glover, and today I've got a guest in the coach, Bobby Mills. How you doing, man?
Yeah, nice I'm good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, all good, man. So, first things first, like take things back to the beginning. So let everyone know who might not be familiar with you. What's your background? Where you from? Yeah.
Yes, I'm a professional boxing coach from South London, based in Brixton. Been doing it, been coaching in terms of coaching since 2014, and ever since just built up. Started out in the amateurs, and now professional coach. So I do it full time.
Okay. Did you used to box before yourself?
Yeah, so I actually started boxing. My uncle was he was an amateur heavyweight boxer.
Okay.
So he's the one that I went to him first.
Yeah.
And got into it through him, and trained me for probably about a year when I was like a teenager, probably around 14 years old. And I really enjoyed the training. And then it got to a stage where it was like, all right, you're good enough to go on to a club. So he recognized that and then passed me over to a club. And at the time that was Mackenzie's boxing gym. I don't know if you remember Mackenzie's boxing gym.
Yeah.
So Clinton and Mackenzie, former pro, his brother, obviously Duke Mackenzie, former free weight world champion.
Yeah.
So good fighting family, trained there for a long time. Good memories, happy memories, like 14, 15, 16, for a few years. And ended up boxing for them a few times. I only had a handful of amateur bouts myself, but it was weird because even being that age, around 15, I always knew I would get into coaching one day.
Okay. Yeah. So what was it about the coaching aspect which caught your eye?
I always knew because I just felt like I enjoyed teaching and I enjoyed passing on what I was learning. And I just felt like because I was coming from a good place, I was able to pass that information and that knowledge on and guide people, not just boxers, but as people, and whether they wanted to go on to have their first amateur bout or whether they wanted to go, like, I just knew that I was going to get into that and guide that. So I always sort of had visions of my gym, even from 15 years old. And it was weird because literally 10 years later, we got a gym and I started coaching. And that was the first time at 25 that I was actually in a competitive corner as a coach.
So was that first, where was that? Was that the Afewee?
Yeah, so that's who gave me the opportunity. I'm still there today. So Afewee boxing gym in Brixton. Mm-hmm. It was actually founded in 97. Stedman Scott, Tony Goldring, they did football. They still do football. And they had a lot of success with football. And then in 2012, I don't know if you remember the London riots in 2012.
Yeah, with Mark Duggan.
Yeah, exactly. So that kicked off, and then that was kind of the catalyst and the reason behind Stedman saying, "Do you know what? We need a boxing club for these young people in central Brixton." And then it took a little while to get off the ground, but yeah, in 2014, I got told about it by a mutual friend who was involved at the time. But by that time, I kind of had enough of boxing a little bit because I was in and out of sport, as I said, training and doing a little bit myself. And then I had to have surgery and then was told, like, you can never box again. So it kind of took me months to get over the fact that maybe boxing was done. But because I always had those visions that I spoke about, and I was thinking, I didn't really know how to get into it. I never really had guidance. I wasn't sort of born into a boxing family. I fell out with my uncle. So like that time was quite difficult. And then wasn't really sure what I was doing. Couldn't really hold down a job. And then, a mutual friend for years, for weeks, was like, look, you need to go down. You need to get involved. They're just starting up, so everything's fresh, and you can build it from the ground up. About 3 weeks later, I went down there, and I literally started out 2014, I think it was May, as a volunteer at Afewee boxing gym in Brixton. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah. Okay. So taking it back to like childhood. So what sort of child was you? How was you in school and stuff? What was your behavior like? What was your grades like?
Do you know what? I'll be honest. I always had my head screwed on. Like I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't a tearaway. I respected my parents. They worked hard for us because I'm actually a triplet. So there's
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So my mum and dad, they had to work hard for us. They never. Obviously, they never came from this country initially, so they had to kind of start up you know, and my dad came over here when he was 20. Mum came over here when she was very young. So it weren't easy, but school was never really for me in terms of I was never an academic kid or anything like that. I was always a sporty kid. So the only GCSE I got an A in was PE. Like that was me. Everything else, yeah, didn't do too great. Didn't even ended up turning up to some of the exams, if I'm honest. You know, because I just felt like, look, it just weren't for me.
Yeah.
So I never really knew what I wanted to do when I left school. What was I, 16, then went to college for 18, but I kind of went through the whole process, the education process, not knowing where it was going to end up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it's definitely my calling to do the boxing. I can't imagine myself doing anything else, which is why when I realized it was growing and I had that opportunity, I wasn't willing to let it go. Because I mean, if you're passionate about what you do and you're serious about what you do, all you need is an opportunity and the rest will happen. Do you know what I mean? If you've got the right mindset and you're genuinely passionate about it, because it's almost like I can't fail. I can't afford to fail because I haven't got nothing behind me. I didn't really have an education, so I would have had to get a job that I probably wouldn't have been happy with. So
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not that sort of guy. I can't wake up every morning and do something if I'm not passionate about it, because, you know, I'm not going to be happy. I'm only going to put 50% in. But now, kind of people having heard that, you know, not coming from too much and not getting much of an education, if you find what you're passionate about, you'll make it work. You can use that as motivation to make it work. So we're still building, but that's where we are.
Yeah, it's like a famous saying from Audley Harrison I heard one time. He said, "He who has his own journey needs no map." So that seems like what you're going down.
I like that. Yeah, 100%. And even if you don't know the route straight away,
yeah,
like I remember thinking, I don't know where I'm going, you know, all the way up to when I got involved with Afewee in 2014. I think I was in my early 20s back then. So all that time, and I talk about this a lot now. It's like people even 25, 30, 35, like they still don't know their vision. They still don't really have a passion or know where they're going. And to me now, like I find that difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Because the reality is not everyone might do, you know, not everyone might have a certain passion, but if you do, once you have that opportunity to get into it, you know, you got to hold on to it.
Yeah. So you was talking about your parents, they came over from another country. So where is it they came from? Because I saw your name's Bobby Mills, but I was like, you don't look English. That's why I said, where are you from? not like the Buckingham Palace way, but I was like, you don't look Anglo-Saxon.
No, you know, it's cool. I get it all the time. So people always try to work out the ethnicity.
Yeah.
But I'm Greek Cypriot.
Okay.
So my parents both came over from Cyprus. My dad came over for uni when he was, I think, 19, 20. My mum was like a baby. She came over. She got given to I think her auntie who was over here. So her mum sent her over with a family member.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of them ones. It was, you know, bit better life, better opportunity, that sort of thing. But a little bit of history. At the time when my dad came over here, which would have been about in the 1970s, right? Early 1970s. He obviously met my mum and everything else, but at the time in 1974, Northern Cyprus got invaded by Turkey. So there's a little bit of history there. So I
know the history because my wife's Turkish Cypriot.
Is she?
Yeah, she's from Guinea. So yeah.
Okay, so you'll
I know everything. So
yeah.
You got to be careful with that word invasion.
Yeah,
because they was there. Where it is the Turkish, the Ottomans, they took over Cyprus from about the 1200s when they beat the Byzantines and when they took Constantinople, and then everyone was living harmoniously until that priest guy, the Greek priest guy.
There was rising tensions for years.
There was this guy. He was going on a bit nuts, and then that's when the war happened in the 70s.
It happened, yeah. So like my dad's whole family lived in Northern Cyprus in a village called Kyrenia, which is
Kyrenia,
So that's where my dad was from.
And my wife's dad, he was from where the Greek side, Chinali.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the south.
Yeah.
So that was another reason. It was political at the time. They had to my family that lived in the north had to flee to the south. They got given refugee houses. It's been passed down now generation to generation. So now my mum has one of those one of those flats. Really, it's a bungalow, which will then be passed down to me. And it's just a little bit like went there every year as a kid. You know what I mean? So that's really home. But yeah, that's how my parents ended up staying here. Started a life here. But I always say to my dad, I lost my dad back in 2018. I was 28 at the time, which was life changing. And then, but I always said to him, Dad, one of the best things you've done for me is decide to stay here.
Yeah.
You know, because it's given me the opportunity now to do what I want to do. And, you know, the opportunities here, they're not the same back in Cyprus. That's the reality. They don't have the same infrastructure, sport-wise. So
yeah,
everything happens for a reason, and that alone was a blessing.
Yeah, it's quite like Jamaica as well. If you're in, you know, it's kind of like, you know, village life or whatever. So it'd be a bit harder. So yeah, back to the boxing career. So we see you've got a great prospect in Isaac Chamberlain, someone who I've known for quite some years from down the Lynn AC back in the day. Him, Chris Congo, Richard Riatpour. So how did you get involved with Isaac?
So I knew Isaac for a while because he was based in Brixton, you know, for many years as well.
At McGill's, yeah.
At McGill's. So we always knew of each other, and he would pop in even when he was Southern Area champion. And I remember like one of the first things he did was he come in and he showed his belt off to our kids, our young people, to inspire them, because a big part of Afewee is for young people, you know, so we're set up very much for young people to give them their dreams and beliefs. So he came down, I was like, let me give him a talk, gave him a talk. This is when we didn't even have a gym, because 3.5 years we spent in a multi-purpose sports hall having to set up one of those mobile rings, you know, 3 times a week with all the bags. It was a lot of work as a volunteer, me and one other guy at the time, then take it all back down again at the end. So he joined us back them days, you know, early days. So I always knew him. And then obviously after the Akoli fight, he went over to America for a little while and spent time in America, which was a real eye-opener for him. He learned a lot out there. And when he came back, he signed with McHennessy, he was looking for a new team, and then he got in touch. So it's funny because he got in touch with me in the summer of 2020, lockdown. You know?
Okay, yeah.
So we never had a home, we never had a gym, so we literally started training outside. You know, I remember one of the first sessions I did with Isaac was in Streatham Common in the paddling pool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was scorching, like proper hot that day. One of the first session, I don't know if you'll remember, you probably will, like the first session was done with him. I was like, yeah, this is going to work, because he's a student of the game. He wants to learn, and he's got such natural attributes, Isaac. I'm excited still to be working with him and developing him. But yeah, that's how we met. Started working together in 2020.
Yeah. So as a coach, what is the main attributes and key things you look for in a fighter before you decide to, you know, take them on, or what you look for, which
coachability.
Yeah.
Number one, I always say, like, get asked that question a lot, is coachability, because they could have all the talent in the world. The reality is they will get to a stage where that talent's not enough.
Yeah.
They have to be able to be coachable and listen and have the right mentality, because you can have the talent, but if you don't follow a strategy, the other guy might not be as talented, but because he's following a strategy that they've been working on and they've followed through, they come out on top. So all these things are so important, not just for potentially like early on, but later on in your career. So we look at coachability from the beginning. We look at mentality from the beginning. We look at all the other stuff that are that people mention, you know, the work ethic, the discipline.
Yeah.
You know, but number one for me is, okay, all those things can be improved, but the number one thing they have to have is coachability. Then everything else trickles down from there.
Yeah. So on that subject of coachability, how do you think Chris Eubank Jr. performed last night, as that was just an absolute shock to the boxing?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Even I thought Liam Smith was a good opponent for Eubank in terms of styles.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, I put something up on my post about Liam Smith comes in with tight guy. He's very well schooled, but he comes in tight and he sometimes leans.
His shoulders
over.
are very forward and hunched.
Yeah. And sometimes that caused him to lean over his front foot. And I felt like Chris Eubank would be walking him onto uppercuts, which he started doing.
In the third.
Yeah, he started realizing, okay, I can throw that uppercut as he comes in. So that's how I saw it going, which started to happen. But obviously no one saw that knockout come the way it did. But it just goes to prove that any man can be hurt. Any man can be buzzed with a shot. No one's invincible. And I think there's probably an element of, even if it's for showmanship, and even if you start saying things like, I don't need to be 50%, 60, don't say that, because you're putting it in your subconscious that you don't need to be 50, 60%, no matter what you say to the public. And I understand a lot with Chris, it's showmanship and it's a game, but Liam Smith is a world-class fighter. I knew it would be a good fight. I felt Chris would win it, but I think he probably, maybe did he underestimate him a little bit? Was the weight an issue as well? Because he's my age now, but he's still making the same weight he's always made. Doesn't need to go up to super middleweight.
Which he has been before.
So I think looking at it, sometimes what happens is, and I believe this might have happened, as you get older, obviously it gets harder to make the weight, right? Mm-hmm. But with that, if you don't make the right call at the right time, you find out in the harshest of ways, because your punch resistance starts to get affected. And I think that had a part to play. So if it does happen again, no doubt that'll be a big talking point for his team. You know, does he feel like that was an issue or not? Because, you know, if the fight had gone on, we don't know how it would have played out. It was still very competitive. I felt Chris was starting to find the shots, but yeah, he got caught, he got hurt, and I see things about him saying he was okay to carry. He was not okay to carry on. He was all over the place, and the right decision was made.
Yeah. So no, what was because some people are saying they don't think he has coachability. Like they don't think, because he's got on record saying he in the past he's trained himself. People feel he don't listen to Ronnie Davis. They're feeling does he listen to Roy? Because Roy said in an interview yesterday, which some of my friends brought up, they said when Roy said he told Eubank last week, I'd rather if it was to happen, you'd get dropped by a body shot than a headshot. And Eubank was like, no, with me, it's different. I'd rather get dropped by a headshot than a body shot. And they feel that might be a thing of where he's not listening to his coach. What's your thoughts on that? And what would you prefer if your fighter was to get dropped and have a crisis?
It's a good question. I tell you, obviously you prefer them not to get dropped, but I tell you one thing: if you get hit to the body, if you get hit to the head, and it's a flash knockdown, you know, you can get up, you can recover within the same round.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, Chris never yesterday, but depending on, you know, certain factors, you can recover from a headshot and carry on. Mm-hmm. We've seen it many times, but when you get hit with those body shots, they linger.
Yeah.
Body shots linger.
They stay with you. And that's what my point was, because I feel Chris is saying he'd prefer headshot because he's going by his DNA history of Eubank Senior. Every time he's been dropped, he's got up and his legs was fine. 2 of those knockdowns, he ended up knocking them out anyway, in Nigel Benn and Michael Watson.
Yeah.
And the Joe Calzaghe one, he was old, flash knockdown, and he managed to see the 12th round anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas a body shot, because with a headshot, it's not normally voluntary why you go down. Your body just goes from underneath you, or you just go flying. Whereas a body shot, that's your own choice. With a body shot, you go, I need a break. You never get punched in the body and you go over, unless you're off square and you get punched off balance. But normally a body shot is your choice. And that is like the worst, because that's your mind telling you, I need a break, or I've had enough.
Yeah, it's
if
interesting.
You go rolling.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. You know, but that's the worst part of it, is it lingers. You might get hit on one side, it travels to the other side. The body shots are what slow you down over time as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in Chris's case, it just goes to show whatever he said, he's overthinking it, or he's probably thinking too much of himself, because he got hit and he wasn't able to recover.
Yeah, you know? I think he needs to watch the video back. I don't think he's watched it back. He was probably concussed in the back there.
Yeah, I mean, he was all over the place. But like Liam Smith's not even known to be a puncher as well, but sometimes all you need is the accuracy. With those 10-ounce gloves on, that's all it takes. Yeah, very true. So what else was we going to get into? So yeah, what how would you, during your coaching, what methods would you use for a fighter who comes to you, has all the talent, the discipline, coachability, but is struggling with, say, the mental aspect of their game? I.e., Carl Froch has been on record saying as an amateur he struggled. Audley Harrison was saying he's coached people through their mentality. We've seen more recently a lot of people allude to the fact that Anthony Joshua, the reason why he seems to struggle now is that he's struggling with the mental aspect of the game. So how would you help a fighter
in that aspect, because as we know, coaching is not just about, you know, doing the pads and
physical side,
telling you do press ups and sit ups.
100%. Like they say, a lot of boxing is mental, right?
Yeah.
But to answer that question, I think reassurance is a big one. You know, I've got kids in the gym that are very talented, but they still need reassurance. And that's not saying that they're weak-minded. It's just they need reassurance. Say, listen, you've done the training, you've performed in the training, you've improved through your training camp. So I'm very big on gaining that confidence through your training camp, because if you're not doing it in training, you're not going to do it on the night of the fight. It's just, that's just how it goes. But I think a lot of reassurance from your coaching team is a big one. Nowadays, you're seeing things about sports psychologists and stuff like that. I believe Carl Froch had that. I think AJ had that. Even Josh Kelly. Like, there's many fighters that.
Steve Collins went to a hypnotist.
Really? Okay, yeah. You remember that? Hypnotist. That's interesting. But look, it's whatever gets the best, whatever improves that fighter, because you need to have your mindset intact. And sometimes that along the way, especially when you take defeats and knockout defeats as well, that can be affected, because they're only human at the end of the day. You know, people look at fighters as if they're Superman, like they're superhuman, but they're humans like everyone else. So sometimes you need to take a step back and focus on that area, whether that's they need a professional, whether that's they need more reassurance from the coaching team, whether that's they need more talking to, because I think a very powerful thing, like a lot of the time after sparring, for example, I notice it in this country a lot. You know, what happens is you go sparring at another gym, or you know, they come to you and you do your sparring and that's it. Like, it's game over. Like, all right, pack up, see you next week.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Whereas what we do, you know, we've got a pro set up, myself, Connor Ward. Like we talk to the fighter a lot after sparring, because sparring is the most important part of a training camp, right? So however it goes, that feedback straight after, I think for me is very, very important while it's fresh in the memory. You know, we can send them notes, they can watch it back on video, that's good as well. But just for them to get that 10-minute talking to, like, let's sit down, let's talk about what happened there.
Yeah, debrief.
A debrief. And I don't understand, I don't see it too often, but I think that's very important. And it goes back to what I was saying, giving that feedback, that reassurance, and also that self-assessment. You tell me, what do you think went well? I ask my fighters all the time. You know, it's a two-way thing. It's not like, you know, the approach is like autocratic type coaching, right? Where it's like, right, be quiet a minute, I'm going to tell you everything. Because the reality is, go back to competition, which is what matters the most. Everything we do is in preparation for fight night. It's in preparation for that contest, right? We can't tell them what to do in the moment. They've got to work it out themselves. And I always say the biggest thing is there's something more important than game plans and strategy, and that's adaptability. So having the ability to adapt in a live environment is very important. So that's why we've always got an answer, why we try to always explain, okay, this is why we're asking you, because you've got to self-assess. So when you're in there in real time, you've got to self-assess. You've got to see what's happening live and make those little adjustments in real time. And for me, that's what separates the good fighters from the great fighters. You know, whether it's in the amateurs or the pros, is who can make those adjustments in a live situation. Yeah,
that's very true. That's kind of one of the things I was saying when I was having a conversation today on WhatsApp with my friends about, people talk about fighters not listening to their coaches, but sometimes you can listen to the coach, like a theory test, but once you're in there, as you know, things can happen which can alter the course of events, where you have to make certain decisions on the fly and deviate from the game plan a little bit. I.e., for instance, even yesterday, if you talk about Liam Smith, I'm sure his team, even himself, he was thinking he was going to probably have a good work rate, work him down the stretch if he's tight at the weight, and take it on points, or might try go for some kind of very late stoppage, but he's probably thinking it was going to go to points, whereas he's hit him in the fourth, he's gone down, he can't believe it, his coaches can't believe it, if we're keeping it real.
Yeah, of course.
So what do? Do you just, do you stand off and work your way into the fight like you was talking about for the past 12 weeks? No, you've got to take him out now, because if he recovers, then those punches are going to start bouncing off him, because he's going to have his legs under him, and he's going to become numb to the shots.
That's what I'd say. Sometimes people might not understand that, but like you can become numb to the punishment.
I've done it.
Yeah, and you just get to a stage where you're like, do you know what? I'll deal with this tomorrow morning.
Yeah, no, like
at the time You just get numb to it. But going back on that point about the knockdown, did you notice something that screamed out inexperience to me as a coach, which was Eubank got straight up.
Like Zab Judah.
Yeah. And it was exactly the same sort of situation. Get
Bambi
up
legs.
too quick. You might be you might be with it here. Your body's not. And it's your body that matters. Like you if you get knocked down, whether it's from body shot, head shot, honestly, forget ego and everything else.
Bravado.
That's why fighters don't stay down. They get up straight away because, I got knocked down. No, I got to get back up straight away, show that I'm okay. That's inexperience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, even if you feel like you're okay, then you got up to the count of 8. The most experienced fighters will take a knee, breathe, maybe look at the corner. Okay, I'm with it. I'm good. Those 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds make all the difference.
Sometimes you might even have to bend the rules a bit and do a Diego Corrales and spit your gum shield out.
Spit the gum shield out. This is pro boxing. We know the little trick. Spit the gum shield out. Very smart. If I saw him doing that yesterday, but remember, he's never had to deal with that situation in all those years. According to his dad, who tweeted afterwards, he's never even been buckled in a spar. He's never been hurt. So how are you going to know how to deal with that?
Yeah.
Adam Booth used to practice it with David Haye.
Yeah.
You know, before I think they boxed John McMormick. They practiced what to do in the event of a knockdown because John McMormick at the time was knocking guys out.
Yeah.
And I think David did get dropped in that.
Yeah, by a temple shot. You saw his legs do that.
Yeah.
And what did he do? Stayed on his knee.
He stayed down, right? Because you got to coach it. And this is like a message to fighters out there. Like, forget the ego. Like, don't get straight up because I'm telling you, you're only in that situation, you're only causing yourself more problems. Like, take the knee, breathe. Like, how many people talk about what to do in the event of a knockdown or coach what to do in the event of a knockdown? This is boxing, right? So in a contest, you have to prepare for every possible outcome. One very possible outcome is that you get dropped.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever been dropped in a spar or while she was boxing, but I have. And have you ever played that game, Fight Night?
Yeah.
I remember when I got hit on the temple, like an idiot. Funny enough, Dan Aziz was talking about he tried to fight like Roy Jones, got hit, dropped. Same like Chris Eubank trying to do the work. Me, I used to like think I was Prince Nassim. So I threw one of them lead corkscrew uppercuts, missed it. So I'm southpaw. The guys come round with a left hook. This is a guy I'd already beat on points as well, probably about a month before. Caught me with a left hook. I didn't realise, I've looked over, I've seen him going, I'm thinking, how am I on the floor? I've got up, so I'm stiff-legged. Then obviously, bam, 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 ref, stop boxing. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't believe what happened. But the inexperience of getting dropped, because that's the first time I'd been dropped. And the point I'm making is that, you've got to practice it at the end of the day.
You've got to practice it. Honestly, you've got to practice it, and there's ways to practice it. So the message there is practice every eventuality, every possible outcome that can happen.
That was it, sorry. In the Knockout Kings, it was like, when you get dropped in the game and everything's blurry and you've got to try and get the toggle buttons in the middle.
Yeah. I used to hate that.
But that's the feeling I had when I was getting up. And I remember I watched the video back and I remember, I was thinking, I'm dazed. But at the time I was thinking, ref, this is premature. You're just taking liberties. But
were you there mentally, but your body wasn't?
It's like my Uncle Raymond always says, the lights are on, but no one's home. Yeah. So it's a serious thing. So
it is, But it's interesting talking about knockdowns, what to do in that case. But that jumped out at me yesterday. But again, that would have just been his own personal pride.
Yeah, like Zab Judah when he got dropped and then he was trying to fight. He tried to grab Jay Nady, tried to throw a chair at him, and you saw Chris Eubank. Even though he got stopped, he ran after Liam. Liam backed his start like he's going to throw the right hand. And the coaches had to hold him. I was like, oh man, it was mad.
He probably thought he was still fighting.
No, he probably did. He thought, I'm in a rumble. But that just shows you his Warriors Code instinct is
real.
That I'm going to fight. I'm going to go down swinging.
That bit I did respect. So all this Warrior Code business, them Eubanks, they've got it in their DNA. So even when like they're down and out, it's like fight to the end, and that was good to that was good to see. But the right decision was made.
Where I saw a fighter tweet yesterday. I thought it's so easy to quit when you're hurt, and we'll name him. Lyndon Arthur was saying it, and then people's like, hold on a minute, how can you say Eubank quit? He didn't quit. He was trying to fight. Whereas when you got hurt, you went down, sat out the count, got up after 10, and then sat on your stool. So you didn't really want to continue in that second yard fight. Whereas Eubank was he was still trying to go. Billy Joe Saunders took the mick out of him, where we saw
same
he packed it in the corner.
Yeah. Now, one thing you can say for sure, no matter, remember, because it's Eubank as well, people want to have a swipe at him. Because of the sort of character he is, which I think is just for the cameras anyway. So I think a lot of it probably comes from that. But one thing we knew for sure is that he was willing to carry on even when he wasn't capable. So
yeah. But big up Lyndon. But I know you and him's got your little problems. But that was a wrong. That's why I had to tweet you back. But you're my guy. So yeah, when you're ready, we'll chop it up. But also, so going back to with the coaching, what would you say is like the toughest part of your job being a coach? What's the toughest sort of
honestly
trials and tribulations you have to go through as a coach, especially as you're not, what's his name? What's Emmanuel Stewart's nephew's name?
Oh, Sugar
Hill and Derek James, and these massive purses coming through your fighters and stuff like that.
I'd say that the biggest challenge is probably getting them to do the little things.
Yeah.
Because we don't work with fighters that serious, that want to go as far as they can. So straight away, if you pick the right type of, before we look at someone's ability, we look at their character and their mental makeup anyway. And if you pick the right people, your job's sort of 50% done. The rest of it is just getting them to do the little things. Like even like, give you an example, like getting them to send their weight in 3 times a week. You know, like we track the weight, send your weight in. And
so do you tell them to do it at home or?
Yeah, so as soon as they get up, so it's got to be consistent. First thing you do when you get up, after you use the bathroom, fully stripped, send your weight.
Yeah.
That way we can obviously keep an eye on the weight and stuff like that. So just getting them to do those little things in terms of like the training plan as a whole. We don't have fighters that, on a Monday, if they're sparring and then they're doing their conditioning in the evening, we know they're doing their stuff. They're following the program, they're following the structure. We have individual training plans for each of the fighters that we work with because they're all slightly different. And I don't believe in a sort of one size fits all for boxers. Everyone's slightly different. But we've got our blueprint. They'll be doing that. So looking back, over the years, I've done this for about 8 years now. I've never lost a fight or a bout based on lack of fitness or lack of conditioning. Yeah. It's always been either win or because they were better on the day. But just doing the little things, because we're quite, I like to think I'm a perfectionist, so I like structure, I like things to be followed in an order, and especially a game like this, I don't want them to cut any corners, so just getting them to do those little things. Sometimes as well, like the reassurance, just giving them that reassurance that they are ready, like I said, because everyone's a human. Sometimes they just need reassurance that, listen, you've done everything in training camp, so enjoy the night. Let's all enjoy the night. We've done 8 weeks of this. We've done 6 weeks of this, whatever it is. So the reassurance side of it as well. Sometimes waiting on dates, that can be very frustrating as a coach. Not so much in the amateurs, because in the amateurs, everything's structured. You've got the fixture list. It's all the dates are set for the season. That's one good thing about the amateurs. Whereas the pros, you're constantly asking, all right, when's the next date? When can we get her out? When can we get him out? So it's a constant waiting game. You're constantly treading water. So that's kind of frustrating. But again, there's ways to get around it. Keep them in the gym. I don't necessarily believe in only entering training camp for a fight.
Yeah,
which is
camp.
Fight camp. Like I get there's times where, all right, these next 8-10 weeks are going to be a full camp, like deep. But if a fighter's serious about being the best version they can be, they should be in the gym all the time.
Yeah.
And when you talk about being in the gym, by the way, we're not keeping fighters in the gym for 3 hours. That's ridiculous. Like, you burn them out. You bring them in. Like, depends what stage they are of their training camp. Okay, you haven't got a date coming up for a while, so we're gonna train for an hour and a half. We're gonna focus more on the technical and tactical side of it, and we're gonna improve these areas. And sometimes when they haven't got a date as well, by the way, it's better because there's no pressure.
Yeah,
they don't have to think of an opponent. They don't have to think of the event.
Rushing their drills.
Yeah, I've got to get my conditioning in, and it's hard. They just got to worry about making improvements as a boxer. So you take full advantage of that. If they got a date coming up in 8-10 weeks, it's like, okay, this is a training camp now. So everything is obviously more disciplined, more strict in and out the gym. They get their individual training plans and so forth. So yeah, it depends where they are in that. But overall, I'd say, look, I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing because, like we said before, I know the struggle it took to get to this stage. having to start a club alongside Afewee from absolute scratch. So everything we do now, I wake up in the morning, I'm just so blessed, man. So the message I give out to other people is, honestly, if you've got a vision, I remember I told you about the vision I had at 15, where I knew, even though I was doing my bit as a boxer, I knew I'd have a gym, I'd be training people. Follow that vision because it's within you for a reason. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful for that. So I don't really look at anything like, oh, this is such a challenge, or like there's challenges every day. And the mantra that we have in our camp is adapt and overcome.
Yeah. Well,
because you constantly
adapt and overcome. I like that. That's kind of like my mantra. Persistence beats resistance. And as you said, you had the vision from 15 that you wanted to become a coach, and you know, as you said, you started the gym from nothing with your friend. And that's kind of like what Tunde talks about with the dream it, believe it, become it. So you saw it from you was in school, because you'd have been what, year 11?
Yeah.
At 15. Yeah. So with that being said, when did you study under anybody, like your coaching? Was you anybody? No, literally.
When we started Afewee from scratch, it was all literally, when I say learning on the job, it was literally learning on the job.
Was there anyone you looked like in the boxing world where you thought, you took through, like you looked up to?
Yeah, in terms of trainers, like I looked at trainers in the amateurs and the pros, and I looked to them and I thought, you know, oh, wow, they got great experience, got good success, and you learn different little things off everyone, right? You take what you think is useful, and so forth. So I've been around a lot of good coaches, naturally. But in terms of everything that we started and building, it was literally all from scratch. But I wouldn't change that for the world, to be honest with you, because I made mistakes along the way, but I'll make sure I never repeat those mistakes. And I'll give you a funny story. The first time I said I was in the corner at 25 years old, right? It was a club show, amateur club show, in South London.
Which one?
Because of the story, I'll tell you off camera, but I don't really want to,
right.
Because it's not a good story.
Oh, okay.
like it's not it weren't a good experience at the time.
All right.
But was grateful for it now. So we've gone to the show, and this was my first ever amateur that I took to a show. Like I said, 25, green as you like, young. So when I rocked up at the show, they even thought I was one of the fighters.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, no, I'm the coach. But I didn't know the order of things. Yeah, you got to weigh him in, you got to see a doctor, you got to wait for the bout list. Breathe. Yeah. Right. There's a whole process to
get gum shield.
Yeah. I didn't even have a proper assistant coach at the time, so I was literally going in kind of blind. But one thing I knew my fighter was ready, and I believed in my fighter. I believed in the coaching he had. And when we got there, you know, certain things were like with a lot of amateur shows, like they don't really go to plan. They start late. They're a little bit chaotic,
Yeah.
And there were certain things. Long story short, the owner, the head coach of that show, was very rude.
Okay.
He was very rude. He wasn't supportive. He could see, like, you see now, even at and for a coach, I'm still quite young, right?
Yeah.
If I see another coach who's quite young, and I see that they might need a bit of advice, or they might be struggling or not sure about something, I spot it straight away and I go up to them, and I won't make it obvious, but I'll make sure that they don't have that experience, and I'm there to kind of guide you if you need it and point you in the right direction. But this guy,
assist them,
because it's not an easy. Everyone looks at each other like you're a rival, and that could be my opponent, but he didn't give about any of that. And I was just very rude, very abrupt. Obviously, we were boxing one of his guys as well.
All right, that's why.
So there was that whole element of it as well. And then they messed us about, told us we were about 8 when we were like second from last. I think even maybe the last bout of the night. So we're waiting around for ages. But karma always comes around. And remember, I told you I believed in my kid. Not only did we beat their kid, we nearly stopped him as well. So
I gave him a couple of 8 counts.
Yeah, gave him an 8 count. So I was like, yes. To me, that was like world title win. Yeah. I went out, I celebrated, and just a club show in South London. But that was a harsh kind of introduction to the world of competitive coaching. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes you need that harsh intro. You're not going to get a nice smooth.
Yeah, but it's moments like that teach you a lot. So
yeah, and it lets you know how you would conduct yourself and do things if you saw a fellow person in your position.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You'd be able to relate that. Yeah, I didn't like that. So I wouldn't let that happen to someone else.
Yeah, I'm big on that. And that's why I even get other young guys that come down to my gym just to kind of learn off what we're doing. Because over the years, I developed within my role. So another thing that I do, I'm into coach education. So I'm an England boxing coach educator. So I also qualify other coaches, you know, to do their level 1 coaching badges and so forth. And that's part of the reason why, because, you know, I don't think people say, oh, in boxing, people are like this. I don't think it's just, I think in any competitive environment, there are people that want to better themselves before bettering others. And I get that to a certain extent, but it doesn't mean that we can't, once we get there, we can't help someone up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's coming behind us. So I'm a big believer in that. So because of how I felt, I got into coach education. I run coaching courses all across London, several of them. So that's another part of what we do, which I'm privileged to do, and I really enjoy that side of it as well.
Yeah. So talking about some other fighters, you've got another fighter in Mohammed Samir, 5-0. He's signed to Matchroom. How did you get involved with that young prospect?
So do you know what? His last fight was on the DAZN card, on the undercard of Maxi Hughes against Kid Galahad.
Oh, yeah.
Motor Point Arena. Great experience. So he's not actually signed to Matchroom. He's with Lee Eaton and Let's Go Management.
All right.
So he's, at the moment, he's 5-0, just turned 24. So he's a prospect. He's boxing on March the 10th at York Hall in his 6th pro fight. And it's just getting him the rounds, his first 6-rounder. So we're just looking to get him the rounds, get him the experience, gradually step him up. But we linked up. Yeah, we linked up probably about a year ago now. So going into our 3rd fight together. But we call him SMG because he's.
What's that mean?
It's you'll have to Google that one. It's submachine gun, I think, or something to do with speed. Do you know what I mean? But they come up with it. But he's got quick hands and he's heavy-handed as well. He's naturally heavy-handed. He switches from orthodox to southpaw. So he's a talent. But I'm a big believer in getting them like solid tests early on. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like another year of learning for him. And then early next year, we'll step him up towards titles. Yeah.
And then you've got another fighter, a woman fighter in Marija Malenica, 2-0. Croatian. Former 2-time world and European champion. So, yeah, how did you get hold of her?
Yeah, so it's Maria Malencia. So she...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Silent J.
Yeah, the Croatian Silent J, Maria Malencia, 2-0 as a pro. But you know what? The story with her is interesting because she has been lurking around for a long time. She's very experienced as an amateur. She's boxed some really good female fighters in the amateurs. One of them who's a world champion now, Hamadouche.
Oh yeah, Hamadouche. Yeah, she's quite. She gave what's her name? The one who fought Alicia Baumgardner. Michaela Mayer. Yeah, that was a controversial loss. Many people thought that Hamadouche won that fight.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, that was toe-to-toe action.
Yeah, Maria boxed there in the amateurs. So Maria's got very good experience. She's very well travelled as well. Like you said, she comes from a K1 background, and then she's had multiple international bouts as an amateur, Croatian national champion, and she went to the Olympic qualifiers, but she drew that woman in the first round, unfortunately. So yeah, 2-0 as a pro, but she wasn't going anywhere. So when she came to me, she's like, look, I haven't got a manager. And I was like, listen, there's something we've got to do with this girl. Yeah. Because even though she's 33, 34 now, but she's tough, she's strong, she's well experienced, she can still train hard. And I said, look, you need to give this sport another couple of years because I believe you can do something. So luckily she linked up with a manager called Robbie Flynn, who works alongside Lee Eaton, who's got his own management company.
Big up Lee Eaton.
Yeah. Lee, and he's good guy, Lee and Robbie. They do a lot. They work very hard for their fighters. Yeah. And they've got a very good stable as well. They must be amongst the busiest stable in the country, you know? Yeah. So Robbie gave her opportunity. And now she's making a UK debut, which is her 3rd pro fight, a week after Samir on the 17th of March at the Brentwood Centre in Essex. All right. So they've got two of them boxing a week apart. And I'm really excited for her because she can be fast track, Maria. She doesn't need, warm up fights. And I want her to get one fight out of the way, as does Robbie, and get her a 6-rounder done. and then just start to gradually step her up towards titles, because especially in the female division, you can fast track them. There are quicker routes to titles.
Yeah, you can
That's the reality.
Yeah, you can get a world title shot within like 5 fights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So does she know Alan Babbage and Hergovich then?
She knows Alan
from the
Babbage.
amateur days.
Yeah. It's quite a small community. So like she knows Alan Babbage and stuff like that. But now she's based in London. You know, been training for a little while now. And yeah, we got a date. So I'm really happy for her, really excited. She's been doing very well in sparring. She's been sparring the likes of Sky Nicholson and other like top quality female fighters who are, you know, which is great. So she's been doing really well, been getting some great work in. So you always take that as a measuring stick, and she's, you know, I believe she's going to be a handful for a lot of them. Yeah.
So talk to us about your Boxing Fitness Square site. That's where you sell boxing equipment?
So because a lot of people come into the gym and they're like, oh, I need a head guard, I need proper gloves. So we just got a site, I think, which is linked to my Instagram, Boxing Bobby, where you can just buy what you need. A lot of it is Green Hill, so a lot of it is like more towards the amateur side, because Green Hill is a good make.
Yeah, I like Green Hill.
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember back in the day, but
Star Pack.
It was all Green Hill back in the day, innit?
Yeah, Green Hill or Star Pack.
Yeah.
But the NABCs, they had these dead gloves, which were from like the 70s.
Did you used to box with the
it was white.
The target, the white target on the knuckle.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know why they got rid of that, because that was to show the judges that they're turning the punches over properly.
And what I liked as well is, do you remember the sash?
Yeah,
he used to have to wear the race band. I know, it was annoying.
It always used to fall down like halfway.
Yeah, the checkered sash. That was funny. And then the little meal tickets where you get the little plastic cup drink, which the straw won't burst it.
Yeah.
And a little dead Mars bar.
They don't really give out the packs no more, do they?
No.
Lunch packs and that. But,
no.
Yeah, that was. You see it. That was good.
Yeah. So what you got coming up?
So the first thing we got, I also train a very talented young amateur called Vivian Parsons. I've trained her since she was 12 years old. She's now 19.
Okay.
She's multiple time national champion. So she won the junior national title, youth national title. In her first year as a senior, made the national amateur championship senior final. So because of her success over the years, she got a GB assessment, and she's on kind of the first stage as part of Team GB now.
Oh, well done.
And England as well. So she's actually representing England next month in Germany. So she's going up against, you know, England-Germany team match. So that'll be her first international.
Oh, well done for that. And best of luck. You also said that you've got a Sweden tournament coming up.
Yeah. So the next, in terms of tournaments, we were taking her and Natalia, two female boxers who have both been with us a long time, to Sweden. So Sweden, they call it the Golden Girl Championship. So it's one of the biggest, I think the biggest female tournament in the world.
Yeah.
There's currently there's going to be about 300 boxers there from about 20 to 30 nations.
Yeah.
So it's a really big tournament over 3 days. So we're all flying out there, myself, Coach Connor, who works with me, and the two girls, and we'll go out there and hopefully get them to box all 3 days, do it properly, you know, quarterfinal, semi-final, final. Viv did that in the Haringey Box Cup last season, 3 days and won gold. So we're going out there again to, you know, part of the experience, again, a bit of an international setting, and that sets her up very well for a couple of weeks later going to Germany with England to box against a German team. Yeah.
So what city is that in Sweden? Is that Gothenburg, Stockholm?
Yeah, we fly into Gothenburg.
Yeah.
And then I think we got it's a 20 minutes cab. And that's where the hotel is all around that area.
Yeah. Well, funny story. The Haringey Box Cup, that idea was brought about by Brian John and Terry Kelly, who run the Haringey Box Cup. They used to take their fighters from Haringey Police to Sweden to these box cups out in Sweden. They used to do it every year, and they used to come back with loads of gold medals, like Eric Ocheng, Kingsley Okoli, and the Evangelou brothers.
Oh, yeah,
do you remember them? Yeah. And and then he said from that, and then I know, because I remember they used to do that every year, because it was like Sweden, they're more into semi-contact, so they weren't used to big shots coming in, so they'd get stopped a lot by these Haringey boys. And then he thought of an idea, and then that's how he came about with the idea of bringing that that tournament format over here. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was a big up Brian John and Terry Kelly, man.
They worked very hard for the London region, especially. They're still going strong, man.
Yeah, man. So do you still? Because I remember you had Joshua Ejak Povey, Hollywood Josh,
that's right,
for his last fight. You still working with him?
So Josh, I think, is taking a bit of a break. He's traveling around. So yeah, we just linked up for that one fight, trained together for a while. But he's very, very talented, Josh. And you remember him maybe from the Lynn?
Yeah, from the Lynn. I've known him for 20 years. He's my friend.
Very good guy, Josh. And he's been boxing a long time. So yeah, we got that opportunity to fight. It was an English title eliminator. But yeah, unfortunately didn't go our way that night. So, respect to his opponent, Kingsley, who I hope to see goes and gets an opportunity himself now. But yeah, that's what that was. It was kind of, I'm not used to working with fighters kind of on a one fight basis deal, or whatever it is. But we knew that was kind of the setup going forward, because obviously where Josh is in his career and whatever he decides to do next. But it's a lesson as well, because the changes you make take time. They take time, and the progression in a fighter takes time. So for us now going forward, it's definitely, we want to work with young fighters. We want to have time to develop them and create a bond, because ultimately when you're in that situation, you got to know the fighter inside out 100% in order to get the best of them. So all this kind of chopping and changing trainers that you see some fighters doing, it's not the healthiest. It's not the healthiest. It's necessary sometimes. It is necessary for a change, but it's not always the healthiest. You've got to settle down with a team. Yeah,
not so frequently.
No.
Okay, so we're going into the penultimate round, series of questions. So let's get into this. Red corner or blue corner?
Red.
Left hook or straight right?
Straight right.
Everlast or Fly?
Everlast.
Cleto Reyes or Grants?
Reyes, punches.
Yeah, true. Rival or winning?
Winning.
For boots, Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Everlast boots or Lonsdale boots?
Everlast.
For pads, Fly or Rival, as I see you with both?
Fly. I'll say Fly.
But any particular reason?
They're light, they mold to the hand well.
Yeah. York Hall or O2 Arena?
I've got to big up the York Hall on this one.
Yeah,
grassroots.
Man. Yeah, grassroots. Tupac or Biggie?
Biggie. Listening to him up on the way.
Okay. Nas or Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
Ali or Tyson?
Ali all day long, man.
Jack Johnson or Joe Lewis?
Joe Lewis.
Ray Robinson or Ray Leonard?
Robinson.
Back to your roots now for a fantasy matchup. Michael Katsidis or George Kambosos Jr. at 135?
Kambosos.
Jimmy Lennon Jr. or Michael Buffer?
Michael Buffer, legend.
Mills Lane or Steve Willis?
Mills Lane, let's get it on.
Come on. Spence or Crawford?
Crawford.
Beterbiev or Bivol?
Bivol's on fire right now.
So how do you see Beterbiev's fight with Anthony Yard next week going?
I think it's very good. Yard's got a chance. He has got a chance because Buck Berberty, 100% knockout ratio, so I'll make him the favourite.
Yeah.
Experience-wise as well.
Yeah. Triple G or Jamal Charlo?
Right now, I'd say Charlo.
Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson?
Haney.
David Benavidez or Caleb Plant?
Benavidez.
BMW or Mercedes?
I've got a Mercedes. I'm going to back that.
Yeah. Audi or Lexus?
Audi.
Rolls Royce or Bentley?
Bentley.
Blonde or brunette?
Brunette.
Blue eyes, brown eyes or green eyes?
Brown.
Slimline or curvy fit?
Second one.
Curvy fit, yeah. He likes that. Yeah. Some of them, yeah, I see you. Natural or surgery?
Natural all day long.
See, ladies, this is what I keep telling you. Stop doing the whole fake thing. It's not needed. We don't want that. You might see, as Jay-Z says, might like your pick, but that about it. Come on.
Natural beauty.
Exactly. I mean? Garage or house?
Garage.
Drum and bass or jungle?
Not really a fan of both, but I'll pick jungle.
Yeah. R&B or slow jams?
R&B. 90s R&B.
Dancehall or Afro beats?
Dancehall.
Beef patty or Cornish pasty?
Beef patty.
Rice and peas or jollof?
Rice and peas.
Come on. Spanakopita or Musaka?
That was good, you know. That was good pronunciation. Spanakopita.
Okay.
Google it,
Remember,
people. Try it.
I'm not Greek.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm trying. So which one?
Spanakopita.
Okay.
Yeah.
Souvlaki or Kleftiko?
Souvlaki.
Gyros, kebab or shawarma? Be honest. Don't be biased. Don't.
I'm gonna say kebab, you know. I'm gonna say kebab.
Come on, big up my Turkish mafia.
Sorry, Mum. No, joking.
Tzatziki or taramasalata?
Taramasalata.
I love that.
Pita bread.
Yeah. Greek salad or louvi?
Greek salad. I make a banging Greek salad. Feta cheese, olives, the works.
Yeah. Evian or Volvic?
Evian.
Voss or Fiji?
Fiji.
Fiji is the best water in the world, by the way.
Yeah?
So that's a good choice. Lucozade Sport or Wow Hydrate?
Wow Hydrate.
Yeah. Ayia Napa or Paphos?
Nowadays, Paphos.
Yeah. Democratic Rally or Progressive Party of Working People?
What? I'm going to leave out the political answers. So can I say neither or?
Just say both.
All right.
All right. You don't want to get cancelled.
Yeah.
You don't want problems at the stampage. Trojans or Spartans?
Spartans, definitely.
Yeah, come on. City life or countryside life?
City life. Just used to it.
In a fight, attributes you would rather. Speed or power?
Speed.
Boxer or fighter?
Box fighter.
Footwork or hand placement?
I think boxing starts from the feet, so footwork.
For equipment, mitt pads, paddles or the sticks?
No, definitely the pads.
Body belt or the circle drum pad?
The body belt.
Orthodox or southpaw?
Southpaws, they can be a nightmare.
That's like me. Oh, southpaw. They always say something about it. They should have drowned you at birth. I remember my first coach, John Atkinson, he used to always say that madness. Matchroom or Queensbury?
Queensbury been doing their thing, but I've got to say Matchroom is still there.
Yeah. Wasserman Promotions or Boxer?
Boxer, they're coming on strong.
Top Rank or PBC?
PBC.
Black Box Global or Goodwin Boxing?
Got to big up Black Box.
Cyprus or mainland Greece?
Went to Greece recently as well, man. That was a hard one. I got to stick to home Cyprus.
Understandable. And yeah, man, that's the end of the penultimate round. So thank you very much. Well done. Would you like to give the viewers a plug where they can find you? Because you also do one-to-one coaching and where they can find your site and where they can get hold in touch with you. Fighters, people wanting to get fit and
Yeah, the main thing is definitely looking to build the pro stable. You know, we've got a very, very good setup down in Brixton, you know, right near the tube station in the recreation centre. We've got the luxury of using the actual leisure centre as well. So, you know, they've got access to facilities such as obviously the boxing gym, you know, the coaching side of it, the swimming pool, the sauna, weights room. So yeah, really want to build the pro stable going forward.
Yeah,
you know, definitely serious about that. Amateurs as well. We've got a very good amateur set up with a team of amateur coaches who are very good at what they do. So I'm lucky to have a team in place for that as well. And yeah, one-to-one. So whatever boxing wise, you know, people are interested in, check out Afewee Boxing Gym in Brixton. We've got a website, AFEWEE. By the way, the name means for us, for us, for the community.
Okay.
So yeah, check us out. Boxing Bobby, personal Instagram, or Afewee Brixton.
Yeah. So is that a Ghanaian word?
No, it's like Jamaican patois.
Oh, is it? Okay.
For us.
Okay, yeah. that must be from the Maroons then. Or something. I'll have to check that out.
I'll have to ask Stedman.
Yeah, no, I'm Jamaican, innit? So I'll have to. I'm surprised I didn't know that. It was embarrassing. But yeah.
Do you know, a lot of people, because they pronounce it where we say it, Afewee, people don't get it straight away.
Afewee, yeah.
But when you break it down, people are, when I get it, for us.
Afewee, yeah. Fubu type thing.
Yeah.
I get
the
you.
Name is, man. So it's a powerful name. You know, we're very much there for the community, and we're just building all the time. So.
Yeah, that's great, man. And thanks for coming on, man.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and doing some gems. And also, you was talking about with Anthony Joshua, someone who you would recommend, who most people haven't even thought of. You were saying Teddy Atlas. Yeah, why was that?
Yeah, we were talking outside. I was saying, I think it's come clear to see that Joshua doesn't lack the physical attributes. It seems to be a lot of what's going on in his head, mentality, etc., etc. We don't know how sort of deep it runs, and you sort of hear things that he's got a sports psychiatrist. But my thing was, a lot of people talk about current situations, current trainers, and I get that. But I just thought, you know what? Anyone mentioned Teddy Atlas? Like, this man has got a track record with heavyweights, from Michael Moorer winning the title under him to even as far back as Mike Tyson in the early days. So he's got a track record, and as we know with Teddy Atlas, he's a bit of a madman. So he's all about the psychological side of boxing. So I just thought, you know what, them two together, I would love to see that. I think that's a good fit for him, and I think if anyone's going to unlock him, it'll be him.
Yeah, because what you got to do is you got to go out there and just show the heart of a lion and get into the trenches.
We are firemen. You remember that?
So, yeah, man, big ups to Teddy Atlas. But yeah, thanks for coming on. So, guys, here's another episode. I've been joined today by my guest, Bobby Mills, the coach. So make sure you check him out. And it's Danny Glover. It's the Neutral Corner. And remember, guys, persistence beats resistance. You know where it is.